Hello friends and welcome to Cozy Leaf Club, a cozy corner on the internet for indoor plant lovers and hopefully outdoors in the future. Last video I took you through some of the amazing growth that has been happening during the summer here in my indoor cozy jungle, and so today I thought it would be cool to flip the switch and talk about all of the plants I'm just really not feeling, or all of the plants that I currently still have that have taken a turn for the worst. I did kind of already do a video similar to this, but for this one it's not necessarily that they did anything, but some of the plants I just don't really like, and some of them actually need to undergo a big change, so stay tuned to the end of the video because I'm gonna have to do something that I really didn't want to do to one of my beloveds, but it's about time. It's long overdue. I definitely don't have the most plants that one person has, especially looking at plant content online, but there is a little bit of overwhelm, and instead of, I think I've already reached that point where in the beginning I was so excited to just get every single thing and just fill up the space. But now I think I want to be more intentional about having things that truly make me happy and truly give me joy. And so some of the plants in this video just aren't giving joy anymore. We're just gonna get into it actually. I'm not gonna ask you to like anything because the video hasn't started obviously, but if you enjoy it at the end of the video, it would mean a lot if you subscribe and like and share this with all of your planty friends. So the first one that has not been giving me joy for the longest of times, and I have talked about this plant in the previous video, but that is my Philodendron White Knight, and what you're seeing here is the remnant of this plant. I talked about in a previous video of my plant fails. As an update, the one that I was holding in that video I decided to bin. This one I decided to throw away because every time I saw it on my shelf it just made me sad. I knew that if I don't get rid of it, it's just gonna make me sad every time I look at it, and it's not worth it. Like, I can just treat it as something in the moment, thank it for its time, and then get rid of it. It's really not the end of the world. Currently what I still do have are these two cuttings that were my last attempts of hopefully propagating new plants, and so I'm a bit confused, and maybe you can explain this to me in the comments because I've never propagated a philodendron like this. I've only propagated a heartleaf philodendron. I haven't propagated any big plant like this, and I just put it in water because it was a last-ditch effort. And so maybe in the comments you can explain what's going on. So this is a small one. As you can see, it didn't really generate anything. It's still just a cutting. There's been 2 new leaves since I have put it in this water propagation. The first leaf I thought was just one that was already there, and so it was unfurling because it had already been formed. But now the second leaf has come out. Granted, it's very small, but I'm just confused how it's doing that. So maybe it could do that, but I don't know. Either way, it hasn't really done anything. I can't remember when I did put it in, but I think it was like a month ago minimum. I will have to look back at my photos and see. I have been checking periodically if it's starting to rot, which it isn't. I did let it callus over before I put it in here. Yeah, for now it's not doing anything. Honestly, it looks pretty cute in this old pickled ginger container, so I'm not mad at it right now. Whatever it decides to do, I'll be fine with it. If it does keel over and die, it's fine. And similarly, this is a big one that I cut off of that plant. It also had a new leaf, and it's popping out another one right now, but it hasn't grown any new water roots. And so I don't know if it's able to with these roots that were already grown, but they were like aerial roots, like they weren't in the soil when it was cut off. So, but I just made the observation today that this tip at the bottom, the cutting, is going mushy, and so that's gonna be that is a big problem because it's starting to rot. I may just have to chop it back again, let it callus, and then try again. As for now, it's in the dining room and it just looks like a flower arrangement. That's what I'm treating it as. I had to get rid of all traces of Philodendron White Knight in my room. It was just being a Debbie Downer. It's not all bad news. So I actually recorded a video and I'll probably release it as a short because I recorded it vertically. I'm not gonna call it a replacement, but the day I decided to get rid of my White Knight that was the last one in the pot was the day that my other plant arrived, one that I was super excited for. Ironically, it was also another Philodendron. And I'm very tempted to show you it now, but where it is, it's gonna take a lot of admin to unhook things and show you, and also that's gonna be in my January planty video, so stay tuned for that. But all I'm gonna say for now, and I'll talk about it in that video more, is the difference in feeling I have towards this new one versus the one that I ended up binning, composting, is so big, and is one of the reminders that I only want to keep things that make me happy. It's supposed to be a hobby that makes me happy, and keeping things for the sake of saving it sometimes is not worth it. I definitely felt a weight lifted, and so we'll see how the propagations go. Let me know what this means. And also if these kinds of philodendrons actually respond well to water propagations. I actually don't know. I just stuck it in water. Maybe I should change it to something else. I honestly don't know, but as for now, it's just a cutting in a jar of water. So the next plant that is not really giving me that much joy recently is my golden pothos, a staple for beginner plants. I got this one specifically has not always been the fastest grower for whatever reason. It's always been like right by the window where I keep my other Cebubu pothos and my Philo Brazil and stuff, but I noticed it's just always been a slower grower. There was a time when I realized that when I kept it in the nursery soil, it was getting root rot. And then I repotted it, and then it turned out that the soil mix that I put it into also was retaining too much water. And so now we are left with this very chunky soil mix. I don't know if you can see properly. But I don't know, it's not really giving me anything. I really don't have much to say. At this point, I guess it's not like the bushy progress that I wanted to see. And also through getting the golden pothos, I realized that I don't like yellow variegation. So I do have, where's my smaller one? I do have a marble queen pothos, and I have a even bigger one there. I might actually just show it to you because it has a really cool leaf going on. But so they're sisters, but it has white variegation, and I definitely prefer this over Aurea or yellow variegation. It's just a me thing. So in general, I don't think in the future I would even quote unquote replace this plant with another golden pothos. I think after this, I'm okay for now. As for now, I might just gift this to my mom or something, or put it somewhere else in the house. Also, when I repotted it, put it in a smaller pot and added chunkier soil, I reduced the pot size quite a bit. There were still a bunch of yellowing leaves that fell off at the top, which is why it looks a bit bald-headed at the top to adjust, I guess. And so this is what we're left with. But yeah, so this is more like a preference thing of the like yellow variegation, but also just because this one hasn't really shown that much progress over the years. I got this one, granted it was like it had more plants in the same pot, the marble queen pothos, but I did get this one after this one, and this is just like one of the plants that I potted in another one because I wanted it to trail. Actually recently plant a golden pothos propagation that I did and it is, as you can see, growing shoots, so it's cute. Like, I was definitely tempted to just chop and prop the whole plant, but I restrained myself. There are a couple other cuttings that are still developing roots right now, and so maybe with all of my cuttings, when I put it together, it will look better. As for now, I'm just trying to ignore it so that I'm not tempted to just give this away. So this one is on a pole. It is definitely not sphagnum moss, and it's definitely not watered. So as you can see, the leaves are all pretty much the same, but this is a pothos that I absolutely love, the Marble Queen pothos. And so currently the potted queen pothos plant I have is this, all from one thing I bought. That was after I had bought the queen, not the queen, after I bought the golden pothos. And so I don't know if it was a dud. I don't know if I just ruined it in the beginning by having the rot root or something, but this is what I like. I also just really like white variegation more than yellow, so it's a learning curve. Also, I just want to show you how cute this one has. A nearly white leaf. I don't know if it's very visible, but it does have a almost fully white leaf, and that's super exciting. But yeah, this one just keeps growing. I ignore it for the most part, but I'm glad it's turning into like a bushy pole. So the next one is probably a me problem, I don't know. It is my Monstera siltepecana. I had it on a similar pole situation as my Marble Queen pothos, so I took it off to let it trail. Also, in the process, I saw that the top part was very bold. It had a lot of old leaves that fell off, and so I did chop quite a bit of it down because it was quite long to propagate, so that's what's happening now. But currently, this is how it looks like. It's just a lonely single vine with a bold-headed top, and so every time I look at it, I'm like, eh. It's not really speaking to me. It is starting to grow a new vine where I cut it, which is exciting. But yeah, I think this is another thing where like I just need to style this better. It just sits on my shelf like this now, and at first I was tempted to just sell it because it wasn't really speaking to me. It was one of the plants that I got at the expo because it is cheap. But it is also, like, the leaves are really fun. The leaves are really beautiful, and I like how the veins stand out from the actual leaf blade. But it's just how it is now because it's just like a leggy, awkward, single thing. I tried doing a trick I saw on Instagram where you coil up the vine instead of chopping it so that it can grow new roots and shoot from there. We'll see after a while if it works. If not, I guess it's gonna continue as one single noodle. But similar with my golden pothos, the idea is that with some of my propagations, I can stick it in here to make it fuller. Yeah, it's just kind of one of those plants that I want to hide, which is a way that I want to feel with my plants. And it's something that I've been thinking about. But recently I've been thinking of, instead of just like stocking up with plants, but looking at ways to style them and being more intentional with what kinds of plants I buy and want to have. Because also styling them or positioning them nicely plays a huge role in me actually taking note of them and not wanting to just like get rid of it, or, you know, that's where I am right now. This is one of the ones. Maybe I should just get it a cute little pot holder from a charity store and put it somewhere where it makes sense. But as for now, this isn't really inspiring me or anything, which is fine to say. Oh, let's not do that. So this next one is more of an impatience thing, and this is my Anthurium Beckerii. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. So I got this as a baby. It has definitely grown in size. This is like an original leaf over here, so it has grown in size. It's just the rate at which new leaves come is so slow that it's driving me up the wall. This is a game of patience. I don't even remember when last year I did get it. It's because I wanted strappy Anthurium, and so I saw this one and I was like, mine! And it was fairly reasonable price. I'm just very sad that it's taking forever. The reason why I don't buy baby plugs and stuff is just because I have so much impatience. I do get juvenile plants here and there, but after getting this small plug, I think my impatience is growing too strong. I'd rather spend a bit more for a slightly larger or more established plant, because although it's cute, like, I can see the vision and I'm excited to see it grow, and definitely the leaves have been growing longer, but I don't think I've seen a new leaf in months, like months. So I'm stuck with this. At first I thought it was a me thing. I thought there was a root problem. I checked the roots were perfectly fine. It's not root bound, healthy roots, nothing smelled, like everything is great. Where I have it is great. It's not, you know, it's not drying out, it's not being overwatered. It's literally just time and patience. And so I've kind of forgotten it, but for now I currently have it next to its bigger sister, my Anthurium vitarifolium. So they look similar, and it's actually a really cute pairing. And so that's how I'm kind of tolerating it, and I'm hoping that it being next to a bigger plant would encourage it to keep going faster, because I'm so, I hate to say it, but I'm very impatient. It's still cute. It's still very cute. I like the veins on a Baccarii because it has like a marginal vein, like here, and then the one big one in the middle. So it's a really cool leaf. I do like it. It's just not giving me anything right now. So, and I'm also very sad that this one grew torn, and so the tear is just increasing as it grows bigger. So the last one that kind of spurred this video is the saddest one. I talked about it in one of my videos, and it is my, oh, this is a heavy pot. It's my Anthurium Congo Rojo. This is one of my first babies, probably I think my third or fourth ever plant, and it's been growing like fantastic. It is a slightly slower grower to like my Prince of Orange and stuff like that, but it does like push out a leaf maybe once every month and a half, once every 2 months, or maybe something like that. And I absolutely adored her. Unfortunately, when I went on holiday and came back, I saw, because of the rains or whatever, it had terribly become diseased with a fungal infection. And so almost every single leaf has these ugly fungus spots, or at least I'm assuming that's what it is. That's what Google said, and that's what the nursery lady said when I asked for help. And now it is completely covered in these spots. So I have been tackling this with a fungicide that I spray every 2 weeks on this plant, and also consequently all of my plants, because I don't want it to spread. This was also promptly taken out of my room and into a separate room where it couldn't spread to other plants. So now it's in the dining room. But as for itself, I thought if I were to continue with the fungicide treatment, it would mean that it would stop eventually, but with every new leaf it continues to spread. This is the newest leaf, and this new leaf also has spots, and it's increasing by the day. Oh, that's so sad. And so today we're gonna have to make the sad decision of giving this big boy a haircut. I didn't want to do it, but to stop this from spreading, it's gonna need to go through a chop. And so I'm gonna take this as a little bit of a lesson to you guys, especially beginner plant owners, that sometimes you will need to drastically cut down the progress you made with a plant. It's not going to be fun, but it is necessary, and also that's just how nature is. It's not always about seeing it grow. Sometimes you have to prune it back. sometimes you have to cut things to grow more things and to grow healthier. So that's what we're gonna do today. Would you believe I still don't have proper pruning scissors, but I do have my cat's nail clippers. Before you say anything, for some reason this works wonders. It does not compress the tissues of a plant. It like cuts really well, but we are just gonna cut off all of the leaves that are diseased. And so the hope is that it will stop the spread to other leaves. I'm gonna start with the worst offender. Actually, I just realized you can't see my face, but you know what's happening. And that is this big boy over here. Oh, this is so sad. Ah. All of those spots. Compost this. I'm just gonna throw it straight into the bin for fear of it spreading to other plants. I certainly do not want that. My Prince of Orange I didn't have to do, so that one also had a bit of the fungus outbreak. Oh, this one is so bad. Oh no. Okay, so I'm editing the video and I decided to research the fungus whilst I was editing this part. Turns out it might not have actually been a fungal infection after all. And so while I might be relieved, my heart also just fell to my stomach. Because that means I might have just, when I was searching, there's something called EFN, which is extra floral nectaries, parts of the plant away from a flower that produce nectar to attract insects to the plant. Philodendrons are notorious for this, and they do look very similar to rust fungus, which is what I thought that my Philodendron Congo Rojo or Rojo Congo had. I still don't really understand whether or not it was, and so maybe I'll just leave the pictures on the screen so that you can have a look. You can pause and just look closer to see if it actually was. I mean, the damage is already done. I've already cut it, so I truly can't see the difference. It will live, it will produce more leaves, but the more you learn. I didn't see that coming. Here is the remainder of my Congo Rojo. We'll see how it goes. It's babyer leaves. I actually can't wait to show you how this changes over the year and how it improves. I am going to keep it in the same pot because the roots haven't changed. There's still a big root ball at the bottom. So it is going to be a big pot holding a tiny plant on top. But it's okay. We're going to trust the process. That's all for this video. Moral of the story is, you know, sometimes we have to cut things to encourage better and healthier growth, not just in plants, but also in life and in our community and also within ourselves. And also, you know, within our own gardens, sometimes it's okay to switch things around, slow down what we do with it to make sure that at the end it's keeping us happy and is not something that takes away from us, but something that adds to us. So those are my 2 cents. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, it would mean a lot if you like and share this with all your planty friends. See you in the next one, and hopefully it's not going to be as sad of a video. But anyway.